What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitical Response, and I've got an article for you today, folks. Look, we're just going to jump right in because this is crazy, y'all. Check this out. Comer subpoenas Mayorkas for information on Walz-China relationship. Now, Walz has come under a lot of scrutiny lately, and you might say, well, that's just Trump going up, blah, 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 blah. Well, hang on. He's lied about a lot of stuff, and we've proven this outright several times on this channel, as a matter of fact. But, you know, facts have proven him to be a liar. He said we took weapons of war in war. You know, he doesn't want people having weapons of war in war. Sorry, let me get that quote right. And he was never deployed to a combat zone. He talked about going to Bagram, like insinuating that he went to Bagram when he was serving in the National Guard. But hang on, we find out later he went to Bagram when he was a congressman. So he manipulates the language. It's manipulative language that he uses to try to make you think that he's some combat vet or something like this. But he never saw combat whatsoever. But he lies a lot, and all of his lies have been exposed. And he's had several ties to China. And now James Comer, they're wanting to find out what's going on with this. So let's get into this right quick. Check it out. House Oversight and Accountability Committee Chair James Comer subpoenaed Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on Monday for information relating to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic nominee for vice president, and a vague alleged connection to the Chinese Communist Party. Now, I highlight that because that's going to come up here in a second. Check this out. Comer said in a letter accompanying the subpoena issued on the day before the vice presidential debate between Walz and Republican Senator J.D. Vance that his committee received whistleblower disclosure about serious concern among Department of Homeland Security personnel regarding a long-standing connection between Walz and China. Hang on, corporate press. You just told me that was a vague alleged connection. A whistleblower coming out and saying that there's connections to China, that doesn't sound very vague to me. Like, these people, the corporate press, love to manipulate everybody and everything constantly. But once again, folks, all you got to do is use a little bit of logic, a little bit of critical thought when you read these articles, and you can see the manipulation. It's right there. Then you go do a little bit of fact check, which, you know, a lot of independent journalists do this, you know, actual journalists. They get out there like Julie Kelly, people like that. They get out there and they do a lot of the legwork and then come to find out, oh, the corporate press lied once again. They're manipulating us, trying to make us think one thing when it's really something totally different. They love to do that, folks. I can't stand it. I wish they would just tell us the freaking truth, but, you know, it is what it is. The truth doesn't get as many clicks as lies do, I guess. That's the play. Let's go. Specifically, Comer pointed to a non-classified chat that DHS employee used on Microsoft Teams titled NFT Biweekly Sync that he said contains relevant information in addition to further classified and unclassified documents in the control of DHS. The acronym stands for Nation State Threat National Functional Team, according to the committee. Once again, corporate press, that doesn't sound very vague to me. Doesn't sound vague at all. Comer did not go into detail about what kind of concerns were raised about Walz's alleged connection to China, but said the information came through a whistleblower. Walz, a former educator, spent a year teaching in China in 1989 and later led field trips to the country, visiting China dozens of times. Hang on, I thought it was like 30 times, but come to find out, it's not dozens, it was 15 times. He said that today. That was a totally different article that I read earlier in this afternoon. I didn't bring that one up, but I read that in an article. He said 15 times. And now they're saying dozens of times. That travel has been under scrutiny from House Republicans since he ascended to the presidential ticket over the summer. Yes, it has, as a matter of fact. The subpoena gave a deadline of October 7th to produce the communication in the Microsoft Teams group chat relating to walz from July 1st, 2024 to present, as well as any intelligence information reports or regional intelligence notes since November 2023 to present relating to walz, his staff, or his gubernatorial office. It is unusual for committees to issue a demand for documents without first sending a letter requesting the information to be provided voluntarily. Rep. Jamie Raskin, the ranking member on the committee, dismissed Comer's subpoena as political. Yeah, you know what? I totally understand why Comer would just go ahead and subpoena all this instead of requesting this material. You want to know why? The longtime viewers of this channel, anybody that watches every single one of my videos, will know outright that every single time these people, they send requests, they never comply with the request. They always ignore it. They constantly ignore oversight. This is something I gripe and rail about constantly. Right? And I'm an equal opportunist here. Like I said, I didn't pay this close attention to politics when Trump was in office. But I can guarantee you, if he gets elected and he gets into office and we see instance after instance after instance of denial of oversight from the federal government, you can bet your damn ass I will be right here railing against Donald Trump because I don't play that game, right? I'm backing Donald Trump, but I'm not some Trumper person, regardless of what the comment section might tell you. Yeah. The comment section is insane. And these people, just because I'm like, okay, Trump is better than Kamala Harris, they think all of a sudden I'm some Trumper, like some idiot, deranged, far-right lunatic. No, I'm sorry. I'm just an independent. I look at facts, I look at evidence, and I make my conclusions off of that. Now, once again, I am sick and tired of the Biden administration denying oversight. And like I said, I'm an equal opportunist here. If Trump gets into office and we've got denial of oversight to this level or to any level, I'm going to be pissed about it and I'm going to make a video about it. You can bet your ass. Like I said, this situation coming from the Biden administration. They just deny. Oversight has to, file contempt charges. They filed contempt charges against many cabinet members. As a matter of fact, we've impeached Alejandro Mayorkas. They've got contempt charges against Merrick Garland. Sorry, I forgot his name right quick. But the list goes on and on. It's just crazy because they keep denying oversight. So, corporate press, what the hell is the point of sending a letter asking for information when you know that they're not going to respond to that letter? It makes no sense. You might as well just go ahead and subpoena this information and get it that way because they're not going to volunteer to give you this information. They never do. The Biden administration hates oversight. They are absolutely a tyrannical regime, if you ask me, by everything that they've done. And if there's any Democrats, leftists out there thinking in your head no, you're stupid. What are you talking about? Once again, go through my video archive and check out the videos, right? I read the news. That's what I do. That's all I do, right? I base my opinions off of corporate press articles. Okay, I critically think about this stuff, and that's what I do. I work all this crap out, and it's just garbage. I can't back Democrats based on left-wing media. Yeah, I don't read right-wing sources, or I very rarely read a right-wing source. It's usually like the AP, The Hill, which is who this is from, Reuters, places like that, Politico, blah, blah, blah. You get it. U.S. News. It's just crazy, the manipulation that they try to pull over us. What do you know? It's the eve of the vice presidential debate, and Chairman Comer has apparently been assigned another flotsam and jetsam errand from the GOP's political smear barrel, Raskin said in a statement. The tarnished hero of the Biden impeachment investigation has just thrown out one of his classic boomerang bombshell accusations, revealing to the world that employees at the Department of Homeland Security were actually chatting about Governor Tim Walz over Microsoft Teams message. This comically trivial last-ditch attempt to smear Governor Walz is one more embarrassing and strained attempt to curry favor with Donald Trump's collapsing campaign. Oh, Jamie Raskin. Oh, how you are just such a fool. You are such a fool, right? Like, okay, so the House Oversight Committee wants to do an investigation. They're going after Tim Walz because a whistleblower came out and made some accusations. So they want to investigate that. What are you trying to say, Jamie Raskin? That they shouldn't investigate allegations of corruption? I mean, what are you trying to get at here? Trump's collapsing campaign. Yeah, right, dude. Look at the polls. I mean, there's several polls that say Trump is up. There's other polls that say Kamala Harris is up. So we have no idea what's going to happen come November 5th. You can't say his campaign is collapsing. Like, that's an outright absurd statement. And this, right, I love Jamie Raskin because he is so revealing of the Democrat Party. He's one of the reasons I no longer caucus with the Democrat Party. Yeah, I used to caucus with the Democrat Party. As a matter of fact, I was kind of behind Obama for his first term. Right? Like, I don't understand these people. You go on the defensive. There's an allegation. Don't you think we need to investigate this? I mean, seriously, we can't trust the federal government to do the investigation outright. We know they're going to hide stuff. They always hide stuff. That's why they have classified information. And they classify everything. Stuff that probably shouldn't even be classified. But this is coming from the same person that gave us this.
The court is not going to save us. And so that means the only thing that really works is people in motion amending the Constitution. But again, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient because what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We're going to have to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. What do you mean by that, Jamie Raskin? Right? The election's going to be far over by January 6, 2025. That's what he's saying. On January 6th, we're going to have to tell the Trump mobs. Why would they be mobbing the Capitol if Trump wins, right? There's not going to be any mobs there if Trump wins. Right? If he loses, hang on here. He's already lost the election. How can you disqualify Trump if he lost the freaking election? I'm not understanding what he's trying to say here. This is quite insane. He is trying to pull a coup attempt through Congress, as a matter of fact. That's what that sounds like to me. That is exactly what that sounds like to me. He is butthurt. And yeah, once again, I know, totally unrelated, but that's the person you're dealing with here. Yeah, I've been sitting on that clip for a while, and I wanted to play that clip because that is outright insane. What do you mean, Jamie Raskin, tell the Trump mobs that he's disqualified? Like, if he wins, he won the election. You can't disqualify him anymore. If he lost the election. You can't disqualify him any longer. Like, I just don't understand these people. These people are outright insane, and you need to look through the manipulations. If there's any Democrats watching, you need to look through the manipulations and see what they're trying to say. See what they're trying to do. These people are just nuts. But let's get back into the story right quick because, I could rant on for a while about that topic. And, honestly, I'm just filibustering right now because I'm trying to find this clip and get back to where the hell I was at. So I'm kind of filibustering. But the subpoena is just the latest action from Comer and House Republicans taking greater aim at Walz and Vice President Harris in the wake of President Biden dropping out of the presidential race and Harris becoming the party's nominee. Well, hang on. You guys freaking started this. Right? Don't get butthurt now that we're coming after you guys. Right? Like, y'all started going after Trump for no apparent reason whatsoever. Like, all this garbage. Like, I'm sorry, Democrats. I know you're typing away at your comments like, oh, you're insane. Subverting democracy and all that other garbage. Well, no. Go and do some research and look into this garbage. Because that's exactly what I did. Right? Once again, and I'll tell this for any Democrats that happen to be still listening to this, I wasn't behind Trump, right? Like, sure, in 2020 I was, but after January 6th and after all that garbage happened, I'm like, holy crap, no, this dude's got to go. This is insane. We can't be having this at the Capitol, blah, 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 blah. I didn't like it whatsoever, okay? Just to get that out on the table. But then come to find out, all the information started dropping. Then all of the prosecutions started coming down the pipeline, right? And it was the documents case that a red light came on. I'm like, hang on. Doesn't the president have the plenary power to declassify pretty much anything he wants to? And so I went and looked that up and come to find out, yes, he does. So hang on. Why are they trying to charge him with espionage? They're trying to say he's a Russian plant again. We debunked the Russia hoax. Hang on. What's going on here? What is going on? So I went and looked into it. Come to find out it's just bogus garbage. That's all it is. They're just mad at him. Right? There's nothing behind those charges. So once I noticed that, I went and looked at all the other stuff, all the January 6th stuff, all the fake elector scheme garbage. It's all garbage. You've been lied to. You've been lied to. You've been believing a lie for a very long time. Now, sure, was what Trump did in 2020 kind of novel? Yeah, sure it was. But you could also say that what Democrats did was very novel, very underhanded, the shadow campaign. And once again, if you guys don't believe me, look up Time Magazine, The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign. Yeah, the Democrats stole the election outright. There's no way around it. They went all around the country to every state trying to change the rules and change the laws in the 11th hour, not notify the other side. So when the election comes, right, we get all this crap coming down and Trump's looking at everything because this stuff used to be illegal. So he's like, fraud. There's fraud everywhere. And then come to find out, hang on. Democrats were working behind the scenes. It was a conspiracy. In their words, not mine. That's what they said they did. Change the rules and laws to make what used to be fraud not fraud anymore. They legalized a whole bunch of different things around elections. I'm not going to get into it because it's an exhaustive list of things. But they legalized all this stuff. So come to find out all that fraud that Trump was talking about, yeah, it wasn't fraud anymore. So they were right when the corporate press was saying there's no evidence of fraud, which, no, they weren't totally right. They weren't totally right because Trump did have evidence of some widespread fraud. Yeah, but guess what? They turned down his court cases upon standing, right? Like, he didn't have the right to bring these cases. In other words, somebody else, somebody who was actually defrauded by the election would have had to bring these cases, not Trump. That's insane. He's got genuine evidence, right? Like all these people, like all you people out there that think like Rudy Giuliani's just insane nut job for thinking there's all this fraud. No, they have the evidence. They have it. They just can't bring it to court because they don't have standing to bring the cases. Over half of those cases were turned down upon standing. The other cases that were actually seen and went through, Trump won those, by the way. It just wasn't enough to overturn the election. Wasn't near enough. I don't think the other cases would have been enough either. It's just, I don't know, it just blows my mind the way the Democrats have manipulated the system. They've manipulated the people out there to pull the wool over your eyes and make Trump to be this evil genius and an idiot at the same time. Like, you guys, oh man. The corporate press and the Democrat politicians do not like you. Kamala Harris does not like you. Just look at what's going on with Hurricane Helene. Right? She went to Washington, D.C. for a briefing. They're not even going to help. You know what their excuse was? I don't know if you guys heard this. But their excuse was, oh, well, they don't want to get in the way. Has that ever stopped anybody from going to visit the disaster? Right? Any disaster. Oh, well, they don't want to get in the way. They don't want to impede. That's an excuse. Think about that for a second. What does that actually sound like to you? Oh, well, they don't want to get in the way. Right. What would you be getting in the way of? Like, these people are going to be doing their damn thing anyway. People need leaders. Leaders show up to disaster areas to give the people comfort, to say we're here to help. They bring FEMA with them. Trump did this on a regular basis. He was down here for, I forget what hurricane that was. Damn it. Sorry, y'all. He came for some hurricane that happened over here. But, like, you show up to these places. You want to be a leader, then prove you're a leader by showing up and leading the charge. You don't let the emergency workers take care of it. You lead the freaking emergency workers. You go down there and you do your damn thing. You bring comfort to the people by showing up and giving them some sort of glimmer of hope. It's insane what these people are doing. They just refuse to show up to these disaster areas until way later. Like, way later. Like that train derailment up in, I think that, what was that, Ohio? I forget the city. And Joe Biden didn't show up there until almost a year later. Right? Like, it was insane. Right after that happened, we sent billions of dollars to Ukraine. That's right. That was a big story. I think I covered that one, if I remember right. I might have just talked about it, but I think I covered that story that, oh, we're sending money to Ukraine and can't help our own people. It's wild what these people do. And it's wild that they have people that just follow right along. It's insane. Right? Like, I'm not one to just blindly follow Trump. Once again, like I said, I was behind Trump in 2020 until 2021, essentially. And I was like, oh, screw this. This is insane. We can't have this. But then come to find out, like I just explained, you know, there was a lot of lies and a lot of manipulation. And I don't like that. I don't like being lied to, especially by the people that we put in places of power that we're supposed to trust. And then when they lie to us, to me, that trust is blown wide apart, just blown up forever. You don't go and lie on that scale about such an important thing. You know, I could rant on forever about this, but I think I'm going to wrap this up here because I've been ranting, y'all. And y'all know I love my rants. And that was pretty much all to that story. There was a little bit more about some misappropriations of funds for COVID-19, but it's just ancillary to what's going on here. You know, Tim Walz has lied a lot, and we found out he's lied a lot, a whole lot. He's not good for this country, y'all. Politicians lie. Right? Donald Trump lies, as a matter of fact. Don't take that for granted. Donald Trump lies. But what Donald Trump lies about is silly things. Like, he's the best this, or he had this many people at his rallies. But Donald Trump tells the truth where it matters. Like, yes, we're selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. Like, huh? Hang on. What? Like, come on, Trump, why are we selling weapons? I mean, whatever, but wow. Didn't know that, buddy. Like, yes, That's a genuine criticism. He's selling weapons to Saudi Arabia for them to conduct a genocide in Yemen. Yes, that's a criticism of Donald Trump. Like, he's done a lot of things that I don't like. But, once again, he was a net positive. I didn't pay super close attention to politics back then, so if he gets reelected, we shall see. We shall see. We'll see how good he is as the executive, but I can almost guarantee you what we've seen over the last 4 years, almost 4 years, with the Biden administration and Kamala Harris right there, yeah, I think we'll get more of the same. She's just an establishment politician. Do you want to continue what has been going on for the past 4 years? Or do you think that maybe we need some change? Maybe the previous 4 years before that were just a little bit better, because they most certainly were. They were exciting, to say the least. I'll put it that way. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. Once again, I started ranting again and just kind of came out of nowhere. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.